If you have been posting valuable content but your calendar is still completely empty, I have made this video just for you, because here's what nobody tells you: content alone doesn't build trust, authority content does. And today I'm going to break down exactly how to create it and why yours might not be working yet. Let's be real with ourselves here. You've been consistent with your content, you're showing up on social media week after week, you're posting fitness tips, talking mindset, sharing client wins, maybe even throwing in some behind the scenes. You're doing what you've been told, which is post value, build your brand, be consistent, and on the surface it looks like it should be working. You know, your feed looks good, you've got value in your post, you're not slacking, but here's the reality nobody wants to admit: just being consistent is not enough, because if we're being honest, is that consistency turning into clients? 99% of the time it's probably not. You might, get a few likes here and there, maybe DM every now and again, but not the kind of demand you really want. And that's because you're creating content, not creating authority. So what's the real difference between just posting content and actually building authority? Here's the simplest way to think about it. Authority content simply makes someone say, this person gets it, I trust them, I want to work with them. It's not about posting more, it's not about trying to be the loudest in the room. It's about being sharper, clearer, and more intentional with your message. A lot of coaches post like this: here are 3 mindset shifts you need, basically just giving generic tips. Cool, helpful, but it's also forgettable, because it's not showing me how you think, it's showing me what you know. And there is a big difference between someone who knows stuff and someone who actually has a lens, a system, a way of solving a specific problem. And authority content shifts you from being just another generic coach to being the one person they want to work with. It positions you as a leader, not just a creator. And also just not someone posting for attention, but someone building trust, clarity, and long-term demand. And the way you do that is simple. It comes down to the structure. If your content doesn't have structure, it can't carry authority. No matter how smart it sounds, if it's not built to position you, it won't convert. So if authority content comes down to structure, let's talk about the structure I use with my own content and with my private clients. It's a 3-step system, simple, clear, and it works every single time if you actually use it properly. There are 3 parts. The 3 parts are diagnosis, demonstrate, and distill. Let's break each one down step by step. So step 1, the diagnosis stage. The first thing your content needs to do is show your audience that you understand exactly where they are at. And I'm not talking surface level stuff like struggling to stay consistent. I mean actually describing their problem better than they could ever. You dig deep, you speak the truth out loud, because when someone feels like you've just said exactly what they've been thinking but couldn't explain it, they are locked in. They trust you before you even taught them a thing. But this is where most of them get it wrong. They jump straight into tips. They post generic content like 3 mindset hacks or my top productivity habits or something, and they completely skip the part where they connect first. If your content doesn't make them feel seen, it won't make them care. Luckily, I'm here to tell you how you can fix that. Describe their day-to-day better than they can. Get specific, get real. Whatever your niche, such as lifestyle, mindset, strength, nutrition, speak to what they're actually doing, not what they should be doing. Make them say, holy shit, that's literally me. Show them the pattern they're stuck in, not just the surface level problem and the cycle they keep repeating. Mainly because the moment your content reflects their real life, that's when you build the trust. They lean in, they also listen differently, and now they see you as someone who actually gets it, not just another coach giving advice. Now, step 2, demonstrate. Once they feel like you get them, your job is to show them that you also know how to help them. That's where most coaches fail. They stop at relatable, but never show what makes them different. And let's again be clear, you don't build authority by dumping tips or sharing more information. You build that authority by showing people how you think, your approach, your framework, your method. That's what separates you from every other coach giving the same advice online. So here's how to actually demonstrate your authority. Teach through a process, not just a post. Anyone can say train 4 times a week or track your calories, but authority content sounds like, here's the 3-pot framework I use with every client to lose fat without tracking forever. That's your system, that's your way, and it positions you as someone who's got an actual method, not just motivation. Also, use real client stories, not just before and after. Show the thinking behind the transformation. The stories are meant to do 2 things. They prove your method works and they make people want in. So use analogies and metaphors to simplify big ideas. But when you make your thinking visible and clear, you become someone they want to follow and eventually hire. Because now it's not just that you get them, it's that you clearly know how to get them from where they are to where they want to be, A to B. That's what real authority content does. Now that they trust you and they know how you think, your job is to make the next steps feel simple and copable. That's where distilling is all about. You take the core idea and you break it down into something clear, punchy and actionable, things that can take, because clarity builds confidence, and the clearer your message, the faster someone says, I need this, which is ultimately your whole goal of this, and obviously you'll be able to see if it works or not, which is ultimately the main goal of all of this. So here's how to do it. Get the big idea down to 1 core takeaway, not 5, not 3, just 1. What's the one thing you want them to remember? Make it land and ultimately make it repeatable, and turn that takeaway into a mental model. Something that sticks, something they can screenshot, save, or speak out loud. And finally, don't just drop knowledge and fuck off. Give them a clear call to action. For example, if you want to build your own version of this, DM me Reset and I'll walk you through it. Because when your content ends with clarity, simplicity and direction, that's when it moves people not just to think differently, but to take the next steps, take action. That's what authority content does. It connects, it positions, and it also converts. Now, that is the video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message on Instagram. My DMs are open and the link will be in the description. If you want to book a call with me for further help, the link is also in the description. But I won't be doing a hard pitch because this is my first video. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.